Hi, my name is Robert Perkins, and I'm an attorney. My colleague Louisa Miller and I specialize in, among other things, H-1B work visas. So they are among my favorite visas that one can get, and also a favorite of employers. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about those visas, why they're so good, some negatives about the visas, and also what do you need to get such a visa. You can get more information about these visas from our website, which is www.h-1bworkvisa.com. Or if you need specific information or have a question, please call our offices at 866-976-8874. So H-1B visas are very popular. One reason that people like them is that you can get them for up to 6 years. You can get initially for 3 years and an extension for another 3 years for a total of 6. And during this 6-year period, it's a very common pattern of immigration for employers to sponsor an H-1B visa holder for a green card. Which kind of leads me to my second topic. Another reason people really like H-1B visas is because they are visas of dual intent. What does that mean? Well, that means that when you are picking up your H-1B visa at an embassy or consulate, you can actually tell the embassy that you intend to immigrate. You don't have to show that you're coming back. For most temporary visas, such as tourist visas or student visas, the person applying for that visa has to show the embassy that they will return. And there's actually a legal presumption under the law that they have to overcome to show that they will be coming back. That's why many people are denied tourist visas and student visas in some countries. Another really neat quality about H-1B visas that I really like, and some people don't know about this, is that they can be for part-time employment. I often get cases in the office of people that would like to be students, but they can't afford, let's say, the full-time student enrollment that's necessary for a student visa. So one solution for them is to work part-time on an H-1B and then also go to school part-time. So these are some nice qualities about H-1B visas that we like. Getting into what the qualifications are, the first qualification for an H-1B visa is that the job offered must require a degree. It has to be a professional, what they call a professional job. In other words, what they mean by this, and a lot of times people are confused. They say, well, I have a degree. Well, that's important too, which we'll get into in a minute, but what the first requirement is do employers in the United States commonly require a degree to do this job? A couple examples: an engineer, this is a job that employers typically require a degree. A secretary, perhaps not, although it could be argued that maybe a high-level administrative assistant for a top executive, maybe they do. So there are some areas where there's some room for argument. The second requirement is the person has to have a 4-year bachelor's degree in the United States, post-age 18, or its equivalent. And the equivalent can be work experience. And immigration, what they do is they apply a rule called the 3-for-1 rule, that for every 3 years of work experience goes 1 year towards a bachelor's degree. The third requirement for an H-1B is that the employer has to pay what's called the prevailing wage. The prevailing wage is what is the sort of average or median wage for this particular job. The employer is required to show that they're paying that, to show they're not displacing U.S. workers that would be applying for the job, or that they're not paying foreign workers a low wage as opposed to U.S. workers. So those are the 3 general requirements for an H-1B. One thing to make really clear, and I have people kind of confuse this all the time, is that an H-1B does not require the employer to show that there's a shortage of people that can do the job. There is a process called labor certification for a green card that actually does have that requirement. But again, it is not required in an H-1B. So these are the three general requirements. The way the process works, a couple things that are really important for people that are applying for H-1Bs. First of all, one of the things that's important is to act early. And the reason for that is that they are limited to 65,000. H-1Bs limited are 65,000 per fiscal year. The fiscal year is from October 1 of, let's say, 2012 to September 30th of 2013. That's the way the fiscal year works. The immigration regulations say that you actually, the earliest that you can apply for an H-1B is 6 months before the employment starts. So 6 months before October 1st is actually April 1st, is the first that you can apply for an H-1B. There have been years in the past where the entire quota of 65,000 visas were used up on April 1st, the first day that one can file. So this year, as we're making this video, it's 2012, many lawyers are concerned about the cap being used up rather quickly. This last fiscal year, the cap was exhausted in November. So one of the things we are recommending to employers is that they really be ready to file by April 1, 2012. Again, if you have any questions or need additional information, please visit our website, www.h-1bworkvisas.com, or if you have a specific question about a case, call us at 866-976-8874. So that's my little presentation about H-1Bs. They're wonderful visas. They are the most typical way that employer will set up a situation where the person